Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Of course, you guys know this is John with Flippin' Ain't Easy, and today I wanted to kind of do a quick live, really quick live to be honest with you, because I wanted to test out what I have going on here. If you guys are here, I don't know who's here watching, but please let me know if you can hear me okay, because I recently, last night, spent time migrating really all of our setup over to OBS Studio from StreamYard, and we're just not going to do it anymore. They want to charge us over. They want to charge us over what, $700 and for the whole year, and I ain't doing it. I think it's nuts. It's like been doubled, and oh, we got some people here. I see you guys in the chat. So awesome. Let me know if you can hear me okay. I'd certainly appreciate that. On the topic at hand, and I'm doing this until my daughter gets here. They're about 20-30 minutes away. They left early. They're coming out for the week, of course. Many of you guys are traveling or have people come into your house. But I put out a little feature video on Friday talking about priority. I can't even speak today. Promoted listings priority, and that's taking the place of promoted listings advanced, where you set a price on keywords and you manage a daily budget and all that stuff. Well, I set a campaign because eBay gave me a little blurb on my second account, not the main account, because I did a campaign for advanced on the main account like 2.5-3 years ago when they first came out. But this one caught my eye because I'm like, at the time, about a month ago, I'm like, what's this priority thing? So says we'll cover 75% of your fees up to $200 if you want to try promoted listings priority. So I went in and I said, okay, let's do it, because I'm a big advocate to take advantage whenever eBay is offering to foot the bill for you to try something new. I mean, even if it's, in this case, it was until the end of the year, but I just had that $200 to work with that eBay was covering. Of course, you know, if it was $200, I'm paying $50, of course, right? But they're covering their portion 75% up to $200. So I had to manage it in such a way to where I could cover myself, and it was around $5 or $6 a day from October 18th to the end of the year. And it's much of what I did last year with the offsite ads campaign that they gave me free money for, and I was able to manage that, and I made it work. So I thought we'll do the same thing here. And at first I pointed to all of my 250 listings on the other account, random listings, right? No rhyme or reason. AI was taking care of it because now AI is managing. You can have AI do it or you can do it manually. So I thought, you know what? Let's just see what happens with this AI thing. Let it run. I had some sales, but I didn't really look to see if those sales were attributed to the campaigns or not. I mean, just normal activity. Didn't see an increase in sales. So I went in and I said, you know what? I have some variation listings that I'm working on. Let me just point this campaign to those listings. There's 4 listings, but there's about 100 items within those listings. And I let it go. And after a month, I went back and I looked, because the secondary account, I really don't put a whole lot of time and effort into. And I noticed something that was startling. And I talked to you guys about this. If you watched the video on Friday, I didn't get any sales as a result of that campaign. I spent $164 on that campaign with no results. Now, look, it happens, right? We take chances. We see things if they work or not. It's part of doing business. I know that's not going to work for me in the future. But what alarmed me was I paid the whole thing. eBay didn't cover me at all. They didn't adjust anything like they said they were when I opted in. So I called on Friday morning when I went to go drive up to Arizona. This is after the video had already been created and launched. And I talked to a rep, and he said, yeah, I see what you're saying here. We're going to go ahead and send this over to the appropriate department. You know how they do. The frontline reps don't have a whole lot of control. And you'll hear from eBay very soon. I said, well, how soon are we talking? Give it 72 hours. So I said, okay, fine. Come last night, I didn't get anything. I haven't received any email correspondence. So I called and spoke to a rep who initially tried to just get me off the phone. That's just like, okay, well, I can't help you. I can't help you, because she was saying that because it's cost per click, we can't refund that. I'm like, but it's not a refund. You guys are covering the 75% and you failed to do it. And we went back and forth, and finally I said, look, I said, I am in the middle of I'm a YouTube creator, just to put it out there, and I am in the middle of a sort of a reporting on how this works for people. And if this is what you want me to report, I will, because this is just not the way you guys presented it. So that kind of changed her tone. She became extra friendly and helpful. I said, look, I want to speak to someone else, because it's obvious you're not either given the ability to help me, or you don't quite understand what we're dealing with here, or what the promotion was. So they put me over to someone else. I believe it was a supervisor. At least that's what she represented herself as, but she didn't seem to have a whole lot more knowledge about what we're talking about. I even pointed to there's actually a place on export.ebay.com that talks about this 75% deal that they offer. And so I gave her that link so she can actually see it. It's amazing to me how the reps don't have access to these promotions or knowledge of them. And I said, yeah, this is what's happening. You can look and see that nothing has been credited to my account. And we kind of went back and forth, and she's, going to pass it on again. I don't know whom, but it's not likely that I'm going to get my money. And it should be a $123 refund, which is 75% of the $164 that I paid. So I don't know. I'm kind of ticked about it. I feel like I was conned. That's what the live stream was. I conned by eBay into trying out their promotion. And just like any other glitch on the site, if it ain't working right, so if you're letting people opt in, and it's supposed to create, I knew this after the fact, it's supposed to create a promotion tab on your seller hub, I believe under marketing or advertisements or whatever, where you can see, the adjustments that are being made as these sales are happening or these clicks are happening. And there's nothing there. But I tell you right now, I clicked on the opt-in, and it took me to start a campaign, and that's where I set up my smart campaign all in one swoop. So it wasn't like I clicked on it and came back and decided to, start a campaign. I did this all within the steps that eBay gave me. And of course they wanted to ask me, did you take a screenshot, or do you have an email? Like, look, if eBay's sending me an email about this after I opt in or not, I have no control over that. But what I do have control over is, monitoring this, contacting you when there's a problem. And just like with any other glitch that happens, I'm letting you know that there's a problem here. So I don't think that I'm going to get the resolution that I'm looking for, but I'm here to tell you guys to be very careful. I talked about this on the live on Monday, but be very careful when you're opting in to these things. And you know what? Shame on me. Got to take a screenshot, save it as your proof that you opt. And I'm talking not just one screenshot. This wasn't an email they sent me. This was in Seller Hub, right? So I clicked on that link in Seller Hub. So click on that, take a screenshot of that, take a screenshot of the next screen, take a screenshot of every screen along the way, and save that somewhere, because you're going to need it. Maybe not every time, but in this particular case, they acted all like, we don't know what the hell you're talking about, until I showed them, here's the actual terms and conditions of this program, and this is what was offered to me. So anybody out there have a similar experience where they kind of feel ripped off by eBay? And I'm not talking about just your daily promoted listing standard stuff that we all kind of feel ripped off about. It's a money grab, guys, and it's a shame if eBay doesn't have their stuff together to at least honor what they're offering the sellers. So that's kind of what I wanted to do. But I also wanted to come on here, make a quick live, not for the sake of making content, but really to just test this thing out, because I want to make sure that the experience is worth your time as well. I don't want. I'll pay the money for StreamYard if this isn't going to work well, but it seems like it's working pretty well. So I'll save myself over $700 if I can. So now here's the thing. I used to be able to click on the comment on StreamYard; it would pop up. I'm still getting all the little bells and whistles added to this, so we're going to improve it as we go. But I do want to say hi to Mike Gertis. Thanks for being here, Mike. As always, you're on top of it. Thanks for being here with us. You know what's funny? Share a story. I was testing this out last night, and I was doing a bunch of private streams, so only I would see it so I can go back and play back the stream to see. I was getting echo issues. I was getting my mic wasn't working properly. I was adding in the intros and outros and how I wanted to set it up. You could really customize this thing on OBS Studio. And I about the fourth try, I forgot to hit private and it went public. So about 9 of you guys got to actually see the hot mess that I was dealing with. And on that particular stream, my mic wasn't working. So I was trying to, and I realized it halfway through. I was trying to tell you guys, if you're watching this, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to wake you up. It was around 9 o'clock at night last night. So if you're one of the ones that got the notification last night that I was going live, I certainly apologize. I was just doing a round of tests, and I wasn't trying to annoy you or anything like that. So I apologize. But Mike Gertis is here. We have Babs from the UK. Thanks for being here, Babs. The Picky Picker's with us. What's up? Major Win, nice to see you. Henri Squaw, howdy. Yes, I hear you fine. Dean Funderburg, thanks for being here, Dean. Let's see, Big Dre's here is a mod on the channel. I don't know how that's going to work for you, Big Dre, going forward with the change to StreamYard. Probably nothing new, I guess. Mike says, priority also kills your placement when it doesn't sell. I was top 3 in items I sold on a regular basis. Now I'm on page 5 after ending the ad. Now I can tell you my secondary account, it's not so hot right now. It had a lot of momentum, and then when we put a pause on it over the weekend, because I'm like, I ain't paying another dime to you guys until we get this right. Now I wouldn't mind to continue, maybe tweak it a little bit, maybe not just focus on those 4 multiple quantity listings, but maybe focus it on other items in my store that I maybe want to give a boost or whatever to, just to see how it goes, just to try it out and maybe report the results to you guys. But I ain't putting another dime in at 100% coverage. If they're not covering me 75% like they said, then I just don't want anything to do with it. I'll just stick to regular standard priority. And my sales, like for instance, on the 19th and 20th, we went for a solid 2 months with at least a sale every day on this secondary account. And then we had nothing for 2 days in a row. One sale on Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday and Tuesday were around $100 a day. And I'll take that. It's this account, and I used to call it my crap store, and it kind of is still. Anything that I don't want to list on my main store is going here, but we're really putting a little bit more effort into this store than we used to. And I want to keep the momentum going into 2025 and really try to make this to where we're making 60,000 in sales for the year. And that's to supplement the other account, which makes around anywhere from $120,000 to $150,000 in sales. And I'm running approximately about a 48% margin, right? Now, Profit Playbook Podcast, we did an episode. Well, we did our Saturday episode recording yesterday. And through the conversation, and I love these conversations with the guys because, sometimes it gets me to think about what I'm doing. You hear what the guys are talking about, and you start to think about what are you doing? What are you doing to improve yourself in this area? And I'm going to be making a series of changes based on that conversation. One of those changes being really getting back, and I've fought with this back and forth over the years. Anybody who's followed this channel long enough know that I enjoy my spreadsheets, right? But I tend to get away from them because I get so caught up in life and everything else. And I need to start doing better. If I want to start getting the spreadsheet back on track, so I have an actual record of all the transactions and what I'm making for each sale. Have my graph. I have the spreadsheet made, and treat that along with. Pardon me, I think my family's here. Treat that along with the customer, dealing with the customer. So I'm closing out my day. So I spend about, you could say, an hour getting all the sales for that day logged in, and then going in for all the sales that I've made, sending a message to my buyer and thanking them for the purchase, letting them know, hey, this is going to go out tomorrow. Let's say they buy it on a Friday, letting them know it's going to go out on Monday, and letting them know if there's any problem, please reach out to me. I'm here for you. And have a form letter. It's not I'm typing up one for every sale I make. It's already made. I just go in there, contact buyer, paste, send, boom. And also creating a card that I put in every package. And just to let them know, if they're not seeing their messages, at least they see that. And I think it's going to help deal with any kind of negative feedback or neutral feedback that just pops up out of nowhere and the buyer doesn't contact you. They just go in and leave it. Trying to create a better customer experience. What can I do to help that? And I think we all can do better in that area. Even if you're doing something as simple as putting a card in a package, there's still more you can do if you wanted to. And if it's important enough to you to do that, I think if we get enough people on board, we can start changing the culture around eBay. And am I saying, turn this into Poshmark where, we're going to fluff up the package and all that? No, don't do all that unless you really want to. That's time that you're taking away from your business. I'm just saying, make an effort collectively. And I know this is going to be, even if all the YouTubers come out and say the same message, it's only going to impact like 20-30% of all sellers. But if we each individually do our part to help improve the customer experience, even though eBay doesn't provide the best customer experience at all times on their side with their platform and their all the things that they do, we can at least do our part. And that's kind of where I'm going with that. So that's something that I'm going to start working on here. Who else do we have here? Let's see. Mike says, also for my store, these shitty campaigns caused me to be down for the first month this year. Yeah, Mike says they refunded him. I think it's a lot of, who are you getting on the phone? Now, do I want to spend time calling, or actually requesting calls until I finally get someone who's willing to work with me and understand what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know if it's worth $120. Henri Squaw sound typical for eBay. Yeah, and you just got to learn to accept it. Disappointment is a part of this game, and all you can do is put your best foot forward and see if eBay is going to have your back, and sometimes they're not. That doesn't mean I'm going to leave eBay or I'm going to pack up shop. I'm going to cry about it. I'm just going to keep pushing forward and see what happens here. Dean says, I've never used Promoted and never will, and I sell products every single day. Now, I'm curious, Dean. You're making it work without the Promoted, but I'm wondering if you just tried it for a week, just a random week, turn on Promoted to see what that does if you notice a change. Because I'm always in the ballpark where you may be satisfied with what you're doing right now, right? But is giving an extra 2.1%, because I never like to park at the 2% where everyone else is. Giving an extra 2.1%, is that going to make a big enough impact for you to do something like that? And look, I'm not here to try to advocate for eBay to get you guys to pay eBay fees and all that. I'm just trying to find, for each and every one of you guys, what is optimal for your business? What is going to make you the most money for your efforts? And if 2.1% extra you're paying eBay maybe gives you an extra 10 to 20% boost in sales, I think it's worth it. Joe Samard's with us. Thanks for being here. Kevin Hawthorne, it says, good afternoon. Thanks for being here, Kevin. Alan Ryan, eBay did the exact same thing to me in the UK, offered 75% discount on priority, and then charged me the whole thing. I thought I was the only one. No, you're not. And I'm here to tell you, if you've opted in to any campaign, please check on that, follow up, because don't take eBay's word for, oh, we're going to cover you. There's many people out there who just have no idea. They're trusting eBay, and they find out, or sometimes they don't even find out. They just don't know that they spent too much money. And we're talking every transaction. They're they're hitting my available balance, right? So it's like a slow trickle. So you don't even notice it. It's not like they hit me for $165 at the end of the month and I'm like, wow, my balance went down. No, it's a slow. Every time someone's clicking on my item, it's a slow trickle, and you don't even know that it's happening. Mike Camparelli says, hi, John, in chat. Nice to see you, Mike. Hopefully this is about the same experience. We have a little bit different background, but I'm going to be working on it to where I'm going to have one of those animated backgrounds, and we're going to really make this kind of a cool live stream. I'm not happy with just making it the way it was. I want the experience to be, even though you're not here for bells and whistles, but for me, it's like I'm always trying to improve whatever I touch. Major Win says, totally sucks that you went through that, John. So lame. It is, but you know what? It could have been a lot more, right? It could have been, I had $5 to $6 a day. What if I'd have had $10 a day? Thought, okay, well, they're covering a good majority of it. We could be talking $300-$400 here. But and the thing that sucks about it is that account only makes like $300 a week. So if you're taking $40 a week on average out of my pocket, just because people are clicking on my items, I had a lot of impressions and a lot of page views, but I wasn't getting sales, and that's maybe what I'm selling. But at the end of the day, I would never have done that experiment for $165. For $40, yes, but not $165. Let's see. Southern Vermont Vintage is with us. Thanks for being here. Mike says, sounds like this should be a class action lawsuit so everyone can get $2 back. I'm just going to, it's a paid lesson that I've learned. I'm not going, there's going to be some steps I take in the future if I ever take eBay up on their offers. Let's see. We're going to wrap this up here a little bit. Jenna's with us here right now. Shannon's with us. Wow, pop up live. Tell Jenna hi for me. She just did. Josh says, good afternoon, skis. And Hustle Man Jonathan says, hello, everyone. So, guys, a short live. My sales are kind of all over the place. It's kind of expected. I don't know how your sales are. Not really expecting a whole lot this week. My last week payout was not very good. I'll tell you that. But I'm going to keep pushing forward. It kind of confirms to me, for what I sell, through the things that I sell, it's what I'm selling. It's my items. For Q4, not so good. This is the second year in a row. Unless something drastically changes over the next month, I'm just going to have to prepare better for Q4. Whereas, from January through October, my sales are generally decent and I'm making pretty good money. So we're going to just keep pushing forward. A couple comments here before I go. Mike Gertis says, the growth advisor never called me back. eBay is showing their true colors, which we already know as sellers, as all they care about is their shareholders and showing growth and revenues. Well, that is their priority. That is their main concern. And it's sort of like, number one, shareholders, right? Because that's job security for the executives. Then the buyer, then the seller. Unfortunately, they do show their colors when they don't. They want to push you off the phone. They don't really want to investigate. They won't listen to a phone call when the rep confirms, yeah, I see how you were opted in. Okay, great. So take care of it. Yeah, 72 hours, but nobody else can see what's happening. And when you ask them to read the notes that were left for you, they're like, yeah, but it's not what you're saying here. So I don't even know what this guy wrote in my profile, the notes that the reps leave, but it confused the rep to not be able to help me. Amy Higgins says, what is the strategy behind two different stores? I think you said once that you don't want your lower priced items to bring down your ASP. Does your ASP make a difference in traffic? Why not just one store? I am a huge believer that if you have a bunch of $5, $10 items that get no traction, and it really isn't about the price point, I guess. I'm trying to build my ASP because I want to, if I sell 10 items, I want to be rewarded for selling 10 items, making a decent chunk of money. But it's more about the sell-through rate. So I'm taking the items that continually, end items sell similar, end items sell similar, and they're not going anywhere. And I'm getting them out of my store so I can improve my store's conversion rate. So if you remember the conversations that I've had with Ebert or on the Profit Playbook podcast, It's really about your conversion rate. And the story that he told was he had the cat toys, and he was on page 2. He made a donation of cat toys, and that charity put his eBay store on their page, and he had like 20 cat toys sold like the next day, and that spiked his conversion rate for that listing and gave him more traction and on page 1 from that point forward. And it's the same thing. eBay gives you a score for your store's conversion rate, and I think these are stats that I think we don't put enough importance on. And if I have an item that gets clicks, and page views, I'm not getting sales. It's telling eBay that item sucks. And not only does that item suck, that item's doing the same thing, that item's doing the same thing. And guess what? This guy's got a store full of those items, and it's hurting your good items. So I've taken those things off, put them on a secondary store, and you know what? That's a volume store. It's going to be a volume store, and I'm going to have to list 3,000 to 4,000, 5,000 items in that volume store just to make the same revenue that I make with higher ASP, higher sell-through rate items, where I only have 200 items in that store. And I've only maintained 200 items in this main store, and I've made $12,000 to $14,000 a month in sales. You know, of course, your profits may vary, but that's kind of where I'm at. Let's see. Backyard Mowing's with us. Slow sales. Chai Charin sounds like one of those Google click scams where you get a call from a company promising all these clicks and it nets 0 results, but is eBay originated? I don't know if that's a question. Amy Higgins says, what is the strategy behind 2 different stores? I did answer that, and you said, sorry, I sent that twice by mistake. Yeah, it says I've got $200 off sale, offsite ads offer. No way in hell I'm touching it. That worked out well for me last year. I'd say, look, take the money, but be very careful. Take screenshots. Every screen that you're going through, take a screenshot and save it somewhere so that you can make reference to it, because that's what one thing that they asked me to do last night was to send my screenshots if I had any. I'm like, I don't have screenshots. I wasn't expecting you guys to screw me here, but I think we need to proceed with expecting them to screw up. Whether it's intentional, it's part of the process or not, they need to we need to do our diligence and prove it sometimes. And I think this is one of those things. Rob Something says any publicly traded company is legally bound to operate in the best fiduciary interest of its shareholders. Everyone needs to stop complaining about them following the law. I have no problem with them following the law. I don't. And it isn't about that. It is to the point where you have to, the eBay has to, of course, cater to their shareholders. Let's all agree to that. What it is, though, it is to the point where the importance of their other customers, the sellers, are put on the back burner. It's been going on for years, but this is just another example of how that's happening. You know, they were quick to try to get me off the phone, and of course, being in the call center industry for as long as I've been in my life, I know the tactics and I know how to avoid that, and I know how to get them back on track to help me. And they were trying to, but they just didn't have enough understanding of what product they were, this particular process, this particular promotion. So, it is what it is. Let's see. Janice is wishing our Flippin' fam a happy Thanksgiving. Indulge, enjoy, and be grateful for waking up and the people in your life. We love you. Awesome. We have Brett with us wishing for a Raiders win against the Chiefs this Black Friday. Go Broncos. No, we're not winning this week. Amy says, interesting, makes sense. Thank you, fellow Vegas gal here. Love watching your content. Thank you. Well, thank you. I appreciate you, and I hope to see you around sometime at the yard sales or whatever. Chai says Nike has 30% off Panda Dunks today, $80 with free shipping, so go check that out. Shows you the sneaker market is desperate for cash and how weak the consumer is today. I kind of agree. I think it should be getting better. I'd say it's going to take a good year before we start seeing any improvements, though. Josh says Rob Something does not understand that eBay sellers are their customers. We are all customers on some level. Without sellers, there's no items for buyers to buy, and there's no money for eBay to make, because eBay makes money not off the buyers, they make it off of the sellers, because that it's coming out of fees and all that, right? I'm sure they realize it, but we are third place, guys. We just have to accept that we're third on the totem pole. It's just the way it's going to be. But with that said, guys, I want to thank you for being here with us. Again, it's a short live stream, but I just wanted to test out, make sure that when we go live on Friday, which we are, we're going to make it a point to do this on Friday, even though we have what I call distractions. My family are here. And, you know, it's just going to be a little bit different with the way this is set up, but hopefully in a good way. So I want to thank you guys. I want you guys to have an excellent Thanksgiving Day. And we will talk to you guys here on Fridays live. So thank you and take care.